Today on the CTV News at 5.
The plan as it exists right now would look at a complete new rebuild over a course of time, and then there would be a complete demolishing of the existing site.
A look at a proposed overhaul of Exhibition Park. Plus, firefighters wrap up their investigation at the scene of $1 million fire in Lethbridge. And how some holiday angels are hoping to help thousands of local children have a merrier Christmas.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Lethbridge Exhibition Park officials have released plans for redevelopment of its existing facility just east of Henderson Lake. Phase 1 calls for a new trade convention center, and the second phase would involve a new agriplex. Exhibition officials say the facilities are needed to expand current shows and attract new business opportunities to the city. Terry Vogt reports.
Events like Whoop Up Days, Ag Expo, and the Home and Garden Show attract more than 850,000 visitors to Exhibition Park every year. But for the past decade, exhibition officials have realized the facilities are too small and aging rapidly, limiting the size and kind of events that can now be held in Lethbridge.
Of course, the purpose of all this is to serve our community.
A joint committee of Exhibition Park and the City of Lethbridge has now released an updated development plan that calls for a 250,000 square foot trade and conference center, as well as a new agriplex, all to be built on the current site of Exhibition Park.
The plan as it exists right now would look at a complete new rebuild over a course of time, and then there would be a complete demolishing of the existing site. That's where we're at today, and that's the model that we're looking at. Will it exactly translate into that? Time will tell.
Every time we do an event or a trade show, Ag Expo, Home and Garden, Whoop Up Days, our footprint is too small on 32 acres of half our site. So, with this concept, a new building, state of the art, it gives us a whole different, obviously, revenue source for more exhibitors, but it also attracts more different events that we could do.
A few years ago, exhibition officials were looking at moving, and they have been assessing two other sites, one in the northeast and one in the southeast. But in January, the Henderson Lake campground property will be turned over to the exhibition, and the additional 8 acres of land means expanding on the existing site is now feasible.
And certainly having that campground land added into this equation makes this a real possibility, is that we do have a situation where we can do an entire build and not interrupt our existing business operation, which is very important for us because any interruption in that, of course, results in losses.
The concept plans and business case still have to be approved by the board of directors. That's expected to happen before the end of the year. That'll be followed by community and stakeholder meetings. And while it's taken years to get to this point, exhibition officials say the results are worth it. And they're now looking forward to starting the redevelopment process and seeing the benefits that will come from it. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Exhibition officials haven't released a cost estimate for their redevelopment plan. They say they'll have a better idea once the site plan has been approved and detailed building designs have been finalized. Time for a first look at the forecast. And Dory Rossiter, we could be seeing some flurries tonight and tomorrow, but is it going to be very much?
Well, the thing is, Jackie, we do have high levels of humidity right now, and of course we've got mist out there. You can just feel the chill in the air. We've dropped in temperature. We know precipitation is coming. Doesn't look like it's going to be with us all that long. Doesn't look like it's going to be all that much. Just a bit of an interruption, more temperature-wise than precipitation. But I'll give you the details that I have just in a couple of minutes.
Okay, thanks, Dory. 5 temporary foreign workers are among nearly 80 restaurant employees who've been thrown out of work by a devastating fire over the weekend. The fire caused an estimated $1 million damage to the Cheesecake Cafe in Lethbridge. The building was released by fire investigators today and turned over to police and the insurance company. Surveillance tapes didn't reveal anything suspicious, although investigators aren't yet commenting on the possible cause. The blaze did extensive damage to the kitchen and part of the dining room. Cheesecake management has been working with other restaurants and catering companies in an effort to find temporary jobs for the chefs and serving staff.
We've heard from a few other businesses looking for service staff and kitchen staff, which is really great. It helps us out placing people and finding work for them in this tough time. And the more offers we get, the better. And we're just informing our staff as soon as we hear of anywhere to go and submit their names. And we're providing references for all of our people. We're open to helping them as much as we can in any way.
While the Cheesecake Cafe owners also operate the Firestone restaurant, they can only accommodate about 10 employees at that location. Management met with staff yesterday and is offering to provide references and contacts for those searching for jobs. It could be up to 6 months before the repairs and renos are completed and the restaurant reopens. Lethbridge fire investigators are looking into the cause of an early Sunday morning fire that damaged a house in North Lethbridge. The fire started around 3 a.m. in an attached garage in the 400 block of Lynx Crescent North. One of the residents was alerted by a smoke detector, and they managed to wake up the other members of the family. All 5 people got out safely. There were no injuries. Most of the damage was contained to the garage. Well, Lethbridge's explosive disposal unit was back on the streets last night after a suspicious package was reported. Police were called to a home on Eagle Road North just before 6 o'clock last night. An investigation revealed, though, that it was actually just a miscommunication between 2 parties. No devices were located. No charges have been laid. Southeastern BC has a brand new municipality, complete with the mayor and councillors, but not a single voter. The province has created a resort municipality in the East Kootenay to help with the development of the Jumbo Ski Resort. There are plans to build a $450 million year-round ski resort at the foot of Jumbo Mountain and Jumbo Glacier, about 55 kilometers outside of Invermere. The project, though, is opposed by environmentalists, and the local First Nation, the Tunaha, is asking for a judicial review of the development permit. This morning, the BC government announced it will establish a resort municipality around the proposed development and appoint a new mayor and council. Bill Bennett says the move will help make Jumbo a reality.
I am amazed that we still have a proponent who's interested in building a ski resort in this location. He clearly believes in the potential that of this ski resort, and that it can be a game changer for tourism in BC. There has been no bulldozing involved in this project. We have gone very, very slowly. It's taken 22 years to get to this point.
While it's rare, there have been other municipalities created by the province to promote specific economic projects. The Liberals say the environmental cost of developing the Jumbo Glacier is more than offset by the creation of over 700 jobs. And snow in the mountains has skiers and boarders giddy, but it also means avalanche conditions are getting worse. Snowslides have already been reported at 5 separate locations in the mountain parks. Public safety specialists say it's a good reminder to educate yourself on avalanche safety.
There is a history in the Rockies of an early season avalanche accidents that they do happen out here related to that high use of ice climbing. So we certainly encourage people to just really evaluate what's going on, and like the Jolly Green Giant says, look way up and see what's going on way, way, way up above you in terms of where you are in relation to the terrain.
For the best information about avalanche conditions, you can visit www.avalanche.ca. Lethbridge Family Services is hoping to help at least 5,000 children have a Merry Christmas this year. Family Services and First Choice Savings have teamed up once again for the 20th annual Angel Tree campaign. CTV's Dory Rossiter was on hand for the launch. They're encouraging people to sponsor a child by purchasing a gift or donating cash. Decorated trees will be set up at various locations around the city. The angels on the tree indicate if the child's a boy or a girl, their age, and a few suggested items they'd like. Organizers say they want to help children from low or no income families enjoy the holidays.
I have an angel for a 5-year-old girl, and as a father of 3 boys, it's going to be an interesting experience, but I'm going to do it without any prompting or without any help from either my kids or my wife. I'm just going to wing it, see what I can do. I'm excited to think about what that might look like.
For more information on the Angel Tree program, you can contact Lethbridge Family Services. Lethbridge MP Jim Hillier is drawing fire from constituents and political opponents over his travel spending habits. Expense reports are out for our members of parliament, and Lethbridge MP Jim Hillier is the second biggest travel spender in the country at $207,000, $188. He's second only to Westlock St. Paul MP Brian Storrs with $219,000. Hillier's bill is actually 14% higher than his predecessor, Rick Casson, who spent just over $181,000. In a statement, Hillier told CTV News that all of his spending was within parliamentary guidelines. He also says the federal government treats taxpayer money with the utmost respect and that he will not be making any further comment on the issue. Critics say there's no reason for him to spend as much taxpayer money as he has. Now, if you add Hillier's total expenses last year, including travel, staff, hospitality, and renovations to his downtown office, it comes to a staggering $505,000. Well, doctors are upset about their newly imposed contract and don't want the province of Alberta to return to the negotiating table. On Friday, the health minister imposed the new contract, saying 2 years of negotiations were going nowhere. The imposed deal includes a one-time lump sum payment of 2.5% and annual increases for the cost of living for the next 3 years. The Alberta Medical Association says what the province has imposed actually means less money for doctors.
The AMA breakdown of the $463 million that Minister Horn thought he was putting in the pockets of physicians. When you break this down in terms of the sources of those funds and the proper placement of those funds, you will see that over a 5-year time frame, it's a net decrease for physicians.
The AMA wants both sides to complete a new agreement by December the 31st. And with a network of 1,800 kilometers of gravel roads that were not designed for the large trucks used today, the County of Lethbridge is designing a new road use policy using designated haul routes for heavy loads. We learn more inside this week's edition of Farm TV.
Grading and maintenance of all these roads is expensive.
You know, we've got a $3 million annual budget for grading and graveling the gravel roads. And it's pretty tough to keep up with everything. We've developed a series of haul routes. They're based on our arterial road network, and they bisect the different areas of the county. And what we're trying to do is funnel traffic from the local roads onto these haul routes and then onto the paved non-banned highways.
One problem occurs each year in the road ban season.
And in road ban season, or in spring breakup, when the roads get soft, they go down a road, say for maybe a week or so, and when it gets, so it's in such bad shape you can't travel on it, they move to another one. And it's not necessary. I'm not here to blame the livestock industry or anybody. It's just the nature of the business. So by doing this system, we hope that we'll be able to allocate more funding towards certain roads so that we can make them better roads that will withstand the traffic pressure, more so than using the entire road network. We're asking you use the shortest route to get to a haul road, and those haul roads will be maintained at a different standard and perhaps made up to so they can be a full-time haul road.
Kevin says it will take some time for the haul roads to be improved and is hoping for cooperation from the public and all road users.
Farm TV is brought to you by DA Building Systems.
And on to the markets, where the TSX was one of the few things to close on an up note today. Here are the final numbers.